Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 30 of Expand the Conversation with Jillian podcast. On today's episode, I have Blanka Molnar on with me. She is a toddler mom, a conscious parenting coach, a family constellation practitioner, and the founder of Awareness, a coaching company dedicated to helping parents heal multi-generational traumas and overcome challenges related to raising children. Her proprietary blend of using the family constellation approach, meditation, and other holistic exercises and tools helps parents see nearly instant results. And in today's episode, we talk a lot about how ancestral trauma shows up in modern life, what family constellation therapy actually is, the difference between acceptance and forgiveness, healing your relationship with your parents without bypassing pain, why healing yourself also heals your children. We also share stories from both of our personal journeys with lineage work. So I hope you enjoy this episode and let's get to it. On today's episode, I have with me Blanka. She does family constellation. She's a friend of mine, and I'm so excited to hear more about this. And thank you so much for joining me today, Blanka. How are you doing?
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me. I'm good. I'm doing well. So excited to talk about family constellation.
Good. I'm excited to learn about it. I've never heard about it before, so I'm really excited about this episode. So at the beginning of every episode, I always ask my guests three questions. And so the first question is, what's your favorite thing right now? It can be anything, like something you're doing, or like a material thing, or a supplement. It's your world. And what's your favorite thing right now?
I know it sounds silly, but I like diamond dots right now. The painting with little diamonds. So it's like painting by number kind of thing, but with little sparkly things like diamonds. And it's very calming for me. So it's just like you are just putting one by one, the little diamonds, and it's a beautiful picture what you choose. So I love that now.
I love that. I used to love paint by numbers as a kid, so I can see how that would be really relaxing. And it doesn't require too much creativity, but it's just like I'm creating something with a guideline, so it's
Exactly.
nice.
Exactly. I don't have to figure out, and you don't get that like, oh my God, I'm not very artsy. I cannot do this. I cannot paint, or just like on a scratch. And it's just like you have something in front of you, and as you mentioned, you are creating something.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So my next question is, what is your favorite way to connect with yourself daily?
Ooh, a very good question because right now daily it's hard because of my toddler. Usually I like to ease into the day, but usually I just hear the monitor that mama. So it's very hard to connect in that moment. Um, but actually tea. So I was living in London, and what I learned from British people, and I love that before every conversation, especially when it was more challenging, they just made a cup of tea. So I started to make a cup of tea before I start to journal, before I start to work, before I start my day. I make a cup of tea, and that's my connecting or like preparing my mind and soul.
I love that. And I mean, you were at my Lionsgate event, and so I hold cacao ceremonies and
Mhm.
the indigenous people would serve cacao before hard conversations or with guests that would come to their house because it connects you with your heart. So, like, setting that intention when you have a warm beverage is always nice because it's like, all
Yes.
right, we've got something that's a little soothing for both of us. That way, when it
Yes.
gets hard, we've got something we can connect into. And it's just such a beautiful practice. So, I really love that.
Yes, and cacao is feels like it needs more preparation for me. It's much even more sacred for me. And tea is the everyday. It's easy, it's there. I have the wide variety and it's easier to make, but I still like, as you mentioned, the hot beverage, the connection and the peace.
Absolutely. And I think every herb that's like in different teas carries a different vibration as well.
Yes.
So it's always beautiful to like play with different teas. Like I'm a big fan of like blue lotus tea and rose
Mm.
tea, like just really connecting with those plants feels really easy for me and it's always really calming. So that's beautiful. I can definitely see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have like detox tea. And when I feel like, okay, I'm trying to get rid of something, like even in my mind, might drink the detox tea. Or when I would like to connect with my feminine side, is like I have the rose tea or the calming one, the holy basil. So yes, absolutely, you are connecting with the tea.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a really good rose holy basil tea that I drink by Organic India. I think you might like it.
I have that. It's on my shelf. Yes, I have that. Yes, I love that. It's beautiful. It's perfect. Yes.
It is perfect. It's so good. Like the rose floral notes is just amazing. It's so
It
good.
it's just enough to give you a little bit of yes.
Absolutely. So my last question is, what's a topic that you think needs to be expanded on? And when I say expanded, I just mean like talked about more or people maybe need to learn more about it.
That healing is not linear, and there is a wider variety of modalities people might not know about, and they can heal with. So it's just expanding the horizon for people and learning more about the different modalities and the holistic modalities, and finding their own way to heal. Because we are just so much in like, okay, this is happening. I have to go to the doctor. I have to get a pill, and this is it. But actually, your sicknesses, illnesses, your mental things, it's much more. It's much more about you. It's not just about at the moment what's happening. So I would like people to know that there are more ways to heal. There are more options, and offer them this wide variety of opportunities.
I love that. And, that's why I initially started the podcast was because I really wanted to like spotlight different healing modalities because there are so many, right? Like
Yes.
I channel a high, but like there's Reiki healers, there's shamanic healing, there's plant medicine where you can go into ceremony and heal that way. There's cacao, there's teas, there's soul constellation or family constellations. There's astrology can be healing, numerology. Like there's so many different ways that we can
Yes.
connect back in with ourselves. And I think for me, I truly believe that a lot of illness is caused from being disconnected from our physical body or our soul.
Yes.
And so I love that answer and just, allowing people to learn more and be curious about what's meant for them.
Yes.
And, like with my clients, I always tell them, I'm like, I love work, like I love my work and I love working with my clients, but I'm like, it's not always going to be like a forever goal, right? Like, I don't want someone to come book in a high session with me every single month and be like, okay, like, let's work on the same thing. Like, no, we're giving you the channeled messages so that way you can stay in that vibration and continue moving forward. And then if you need to come back and work on something else, great. But also, like in my spiritual mentorship, it's me showing them how to use all of these tools for themselves so they can be their
Exactly.
own healer. Because, what we haven't been taught as humans is that we all carry our own healing gifts. And so it's just connecting with those and with ourself. But I think that's so beautiful.
Absolutely. And this is speaking against us, by the way, because it's like if they are not coming back, but I don't want to be a crutch forever. I want to join your healing journey for a while, like as a hiking partner. And we walk or maybe run or we slow down a little bit together, and then I shift off and you keep going on your own way. But and that's why I like family constellation so much, because I tried so many modalities, and this was the one that brought me deep down but brought me up also. So I've been in like traditional therapy, and it was 2.5 years, and I felt every week, and I felt like I'm just scratching the surface, and I was yelling, I was shouting, I was like crying and all those kind of things. I don't say that it didn't help, but I wanted more. I wanted deeper. I wanted a deeper understanding. And that's when I find again family constellation.
I love that. And it's funny because you're right. Like, I don't think we're supposed to say, like, don't work with us forever, but I don't know that that's a great business model. But I mean, I think so many people need help. And it's not so much about having the same clients forever, but it's watching your clients grow and then stand on their own 2 feet. And again, like, for me, I always have the one-off sessions where it's like if you've got something that you know is like sticky for you and you need that reflection, absolutely book a session. But I don't want someone to constantly pay me thousands of dollars every month to be in a spiritual mentorship when it's like, no, like this is for you to trust yourself and for you to be able to make these decisions on your own through your own journey. And even with like my own healing journey, like I've seen where I've graduated from different mentorships. And it's like, okay, like I've gotten what I need from you. Thank you so much. And I'm forever grateful for them. And,
Yeah.
some of them have stayed friends, but it's one of those things where it's like when it's time to go and you feel that in your body, like it's really important, I think, as healers to say, like, you did it, like you made it.
Yes, and sometimes when, especially when it's a spiritual connection, it's hard to leave it. And I'm actually in the middle of one of those, and I'm not sure that is it a go, is it a stay, or is it just like for a temporary time we are a little bit apart. But but yes, and it depends on where you are on this healing journey. So last year I was very, very sick. I had these severe allergic reactions and nobody could help me from the Western medication. I saw 8, 9 different specialists and I was desperate to heal because I looked ugly. I mean, like my face was double and I was red all over and I was in so much pain. So I found different teachers again. But again, I did a lot of work. So it's like, okay, thank you. Thank you for having me as a student. And now what's next? So it's like, as you mentioned, it's just like it's a flow. There are times when you are like, oh wow, I need more help right now. And it's like, okay, I'm okay now. What can I do?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think even like if you're ever feeling like what happens next, like taking some time for yourself and like even asking the universe, like, okay, is there someone else I'm meant to work with? Is there something else I need to learn? Or is this the container that's still working for me? And just kind of allowing that to see, because, I had a mentor that I worked with for probably almost 3 years, and I took everything that I learned out of it and really just applied it to my life. But then it got to a point where I was like, okay, I need a break. And I haven't felt that call back. Like she was running another program and I was like, let me think about it. And it just wasn't
Mhm.
for me. And that's okay.
I think our society is so got used to get everything instantly. You order on Amazon and you get it next day or even same day. And same way with the healing. It's just like, how can I fix it right now? And I understand the desperate energy because I was in that last year and even at the beginning of this year. But sitting with ourselves and actually tuning in, that's a big thing. And I don't think many people are good with that. It's not just about meditation, but like, okay, before I go to Facebook and I went on it, or I ask a friend, or just like bleh, out of it, it's like, how do you feel? What do I really feel about it? Like even just like processing your emotions was like, okay, on a scale of 10, how angry I am, why I'm angry. I'm just asking questions or just be with it like for 5 minutes instead of like reaching for the phone. And and yes, and that's where magic happens. And I know because it happened with me that I was just like, I need to share this. I need to speak about it. And funny enough, the universe was like, nobody was available. Or actually, my friends in Hungary, they were already sleeping. I will not wake them up in the middle of the night that I need to speak right now. So the universe was like, no, just just sit with it a little bit, just 10 minutes. And I was like, oh, I don't like this. And but the more I know these signs now, that it's like, okay, you want to reach for that phone, you want to blurt it out, call somebody. It's like, I will sit with it. I make a tea and I will sit with it a little bit.
And it's so good to be able to like take that and be able to like feel your emotions first before you kind of like, because when you get into that, that's a very like feminine trait, right? Like our throat
Hmm.
chakra and using it and making sure that we're speaking what we need, but which is so important. And I transmute so much through words sometimes. So I'll sit with it for a while and then I'm like, nope, it needs to come out. Even if it's just through a voice message that I send to a friend that maybe she never listens to, right? And I have a couple of really good friends that we just know are like, hey, I just need to move this. I just need to get it out. Like, you don't even have to listen to it. We're just moving some energy right now. And that's okay too. But I definitely do think taking the self-awareness and that pause period to like connect in with yourself is so important.
Yeah, it's funny because as part of my healing journey last year, I was reading a lot of letters and like physical letters I was writing out my anger, and my husband, funny, gave me the blowtorch to actually like fire them up. So I was burning letters out there, and our neighbor is like, "Is everything okay? Is something burning?" I was like, "It's okay. I'm just burning letters. It's all good. I'm just like." So it was like I had to say that we don't call the fire department. It's all good. I'm just burning letters. I'm just letting things out. So, yeah,
You're like just transmuting over here. Don't mind me.
just with the blowtorch, I was like, "Go away." So, yeah,
It's so cathartic though, and it feels so good whenever you have all these emotions on paper and you're like, I'm done with it. And then you just light it on fire. It feels really good. And it's like a very physical way for you to see that like it is being transmuted. It's burning up, it's
yeah.
going back into the ethers, it's outside of you. And so it's so nice. I love that. Okay, so tell me what family constellations is. Like kind of what it is and then what the practice is like. I'm really excited to hear about it.
Sure. So, family constellation actually been around since the 1970s. It's just not very well known in the US because it's coming from Europe, from Germany. Um, And Bert Hellinger was a German psychologist, and he put the foundation down for family constellation in the 70s. And the concept or the foundation for family constellation is that actually, whatever we have currently in our lives, any mental, physical, psychological, financial, environmental challenges we have, we or our kids, it might be rooted in a multi-generational trauma that happened 6, 7 generations back. So with family constellation, you come to me that, hey, I have this issue, and I work one-on-one sessions, and I start to trial around finding that what is the root cause, that what happened like long, long time ago. And so many times, so I'm from Hungary, you can hear my accent. Hungarian history was heavy loaded, so like really loaded. And the US is the same. The US been in so many wars, and those are still in the system, in our DNAs. So even you think that, oh, the Second World War doesn't affect me, actually it might be affecting you because you don't know that one of your relatives were a perpetrator or victim of the Second World War, and they came home, but they had survival guilt, and it all trickles down to you as of today. And how would you know that you have multi-generational traumas? You have fertility problems, you have financial problems. For example, you have a good salary, but at the end of the month, you are like nickel and diming and paycheck to paycheck because you are gambling them away or you are spending. And you feel that it's not even me, it's somebody in my life that's spending that money. Obviously, it's you spending. But when you feel that is it actually me or is it something urging me to do that? Same with like feminine issues, cancer, mental. I work with clients with ADHD or other like relationship problems. These are all can be signs. I'm not saying that always, but with the family constellation session, we can look at it if it's coming from an ancient trauma or from somebody great grandparents.
I love that. And I know that for myself, I've had a lot of family trauma, and ancestral trauma. And it didn't really like click for me until I was at my yoga teacher training. I went to get a massage and this doctor. He did massages. One of my friends was like, he may tell you have trapped emotions, and she's like, he doesn't do it with everyone, but like if he does. And so sure enough, like as he's doing the massage, I hear him talking to his guides. And I'm like, here we go. And it was familial trauma from my mom's lineage of feeling helplessness, hopelessness,
Mhm.
a lack of trust and like self-trust. And it was just so interesting because as he's telling me, I'm like, that makes complete sense. And on my mom's side of the family, like one of my, oh man, I think it's my great 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 grandmother's on her dad's side, she was half Native American. So
Mhm.
my great 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 grandmother was full Native American, and we know how like the American people came in and kind of just took over. So I can definitely see how that's affected me. And then on top of it, on my mom's side, my great 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 grandmother, she was a mulatto, so she was half black. And I found out because my aunt was doing some genealogy research and found that, and I was like, no wonder we feel this way. Like they had very little control in what they were doing. And so like looking at it whenever I'm in session or even just in my life, like noticing where I can step into my power and kind of claim that, like, no, I'm not helpless. I'm not hopeless. Like, I can handle this and it's okay. Because I think so many people forget to look backwards.
Mhm.
And like, it's not to look backwards to like, stay there, right? I think that's something that
Exactly.
people
Yeah.
forget. And so I would love to hear how you kind of like help your clients kind of move through that so people don't hear it. Because I think sometimes in any kind of spiritual session, people hear something and they like marry themselves to it. It's like getting a diagnosis, right? Like
Yeah.
they're like, this is me now. Like this makes sense. Like this is who I am. And it's like, no, that's not true. Like you have to move through it. So I'd love to hear about that.
Oh, so many things to unfold. First of all, when clients tell me that the past is the past, why we have to dig this up, I was like, because it's affecting you more than you think. And so, yes, past is the past. We are not here to start to dig up all the skeletons or pull them out from the closet, but many of them is affecting yours or your child's life today. So even if you don't connecting the dots, because sometimes, so I had a client, he had some anger issues, and we were talking about the grandmother who passed away actually from hepatitis. And the story was that the hepatitis got from the dentist office. It turned out that no, it did come from a lover that nobody knew about. And because the grandmother had the hepatitis and got it from the lover, she was very angry because obviously passed away from that, what she got from somebody who she loved. So that anger got inherited into my client. So yes, it's actually affecting you in like so many mind-blowing way. Some clients is like, is this true? Is it you are not just coming up randomly with stories? And it's like, I wish I would be that creative coming up with stories. Sometimes I hear, but no, I'm checking with my guides and it's like, yes, it's actually true. So going back that um memory it's just like I forget about it. So it's the past is affecting you, and here it's I'm not creating a soap opera for you, and we are not here to keep, as you mentioned, be stuck in the past. And in one session we visit the past, and we actually have conversations with that soul with whom that trauma happened, and we give back the responsibility, because as a descendants from love and from loyalty, which is higher than everything, even you think that, oh, my parents were horrible, I don't love them, actually your love and loyalty even on your subconscious is the biggest towards your family. So no joke, you are acting and you are carrying their burden and their responsibility because you want to be the good girl or the good boy to do this. So we go back and then we have this conversation and we release that burden. We release that trauma. And actually, the person who it belongs originally, they are relieved. They don't want us to struggle. They want us to be happy. So they are not like standing there that I'm the evil great grandmother and I want you to suffer for the rest of your life, and you don't have a child, or you don't have the love of your love of your life because I didn't have it. It's they would like to be acknowledged. They would like their pain to be acknowledged. And so many times people are missing from the system. So imagine this is like a big spider webs, and there are like connecting dots, and people forgotten kids who were lost like when they were 6 years old, 6 months old maybe, or aborted kids or miscarriages. They are all missing from the system, or family members who were expelled because they were just not in the little village norm or whatever. They are all missing from the system, and they belong to the family. They want to be acknowledged that they are part of the family. And sometimes we acting on behalf of them, like the great uncle who run away, or because of gambling issues, or the great grandmother who wanted to be with a different person that they were. So these people are missing from the system. And when you are acting out in a subconscious way, sometimes you just want to bring them back into the system. So here again, not digging up the past for the sake of digging and just like, oh, this is a cool story type of thing. But no, we are healing. We are healing. We are bringing them, and we are reminding the system how whole it can be.
I love that. And it's funny because it's like when you were talking about they want their pain to be acknowledged, like they were human too, right? Like even
Yeah.
though they're spirits now, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, but they want to be seen, they want to be heard because that's a lot of what humans want. They just want to be understood, seen, and heard, right? So it's so interesting to hear you say that. They're like, I just please like notice me, like hear what I went through. And it's funny because when you mentioned how the past is affecting you, they're your guides, right? They're your spirits and guides now, some of them, not always, but it's one of those things where it's like, how can you find that communication or talk to them in a way of like, hey, what do I need to do next? Not need to do or should do, but what's for my highest and best. And when it comes to spirit guides, I think people forget that they're there for you to talk to and they're there to help you move forward, not just stay stuck or not just have a mediocre life. They really want to see you help your lineage on top of it because it's not just you that it's affecting. It'll be any kids that you have and everything else. Because, like I mentioned, that experience in Mexico, he was telling me all of this has been passed down through the womb. And so each child that
Mhm.
was born, and so of course, like for me, I'm like, man, my son's already 9. Is it too late for what I'm doing now to affect him or to change? And he was like, he may have to do some work on his own, but like you being actively working on this is definitely going to make a difference for him. And so it's just so interesting to hear that because,
So,
go
oh,
ahead.
sorry. No,
No, no,
two
no.
things. What I wanted to, apologies for interrupting, but two things is like when you are healing backwards, you are healing forwards too.
Hmm.
And when you are doing your healing, you are actually healing your child too. And I did a lot of healing, not just for myself, but for my daughter. It doesn't mean that she will have an easy life or she will not have to deal with challenges, but that's her own karma. But at least all the suffering, the poverty, the sweat and blood that the Hungarian inheritance is bringing, it's dissolved because I wanted to work on that for her too. And and yes, so healing forward is so important. And the other thing what I wanted to bring that you brought up a very important point, that our ancestors want they want to support us. They want, like, imagine a hand on your back when only just a beautiful light can come out, and they want to support us. And then when people feel like my dad or my mom was like this and that, even when you don't think, they can support you. Because when you are cutting them off out of your life, for example, depression, when you feel depressed, so many times it turns out that it's actually the rejection of the mom or the dad or both.
Mm.
Because it's like flying, trying to operate an airplane without one engine or two engines shut down. It's like they are their powerhouse. They are your powerhouse and engines. And you are like, put a monkey wrench and it's like, no, you know what? I don't need you. I don't need you. And it's like, you are just like, okay, I'm drowning. It's like I will fall. And you feel depressed because you
Mhm.
shut them down. I'm not saying, and in a session, I never ask my clients to forgive. I ask my clients to accept and take back responsibility, because what they did, your parents did, is what they did. They sometimes they do horrible things. First of all, actually, it's like it's usually coming from further generations, because like drug addiction, alcoholism, it doesn't start just with our parents, but if you go back further now, but it's not an excuse for them. They still do horrible things, but they can still, on a soul level or on a spiritual level, they can still support you. And just acknowledging that who you are, and I respect your life. That's one of the hardest things sometimes, to say it out loud. But when you do that, it's like, I don't have to be you. It's not my identity who you are, and I can change it, but I can change it from a more neutral perspective, from a more neutral core, instead of from anger, or it's like, I don't want to do anything with you. It's like, anger is still an emotion, and you never grow up if you don't accept your parents and you are shifting the blame on them.
Mm.
And anger is still an attachment, it's not neutral.
Yep.
Hate and love is just the other side, but you are not neutral. When you can talk about it, that yes, it's part of my past. It's like, I have an alcoholic dad, and it doesn't say, I don't say that it doesn't affect me anymore, but I can talk about it because I healed a lot of it and I accepted my dad for who he is.
I love that. You're like speaking to me directly. I've done a lot of work around like healing wounds with my dad, and it's one of those things where I think it was last year or the year before where I called him and I was just like, why did you treat me like this? And he's been an alcoholic his entire life. And I just wanted to hear him, like, I wanted him to take responsibility for it, right? And he was like, no, I do love you, all this stuff. And I'm like, but you've always chosen, whether it was other women or alcohol, like over me, right? But like having that conversation with him finally like let go of me, because I was like, now I just don't care. And it's one of those things where I'm just completely neutral towards it. Like I don't talk to him. I don't have a relationship because I don't think that's healthy for me. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like, you do you. And that's something that I'm not saying it in a way of like, oh my God, I hate you, get away from me. I don't care what you do. It's just one of those things where he's going to live his life and he's made his choices. And having gone through my own journey, like it's one of those things where I can see how he was shaped that way, right? And why these things did happen to him. And it's so interesting because I never even thought about like using something like family constellations with like alcoholism or things like that. And I think a lot of the times, with alcoholism, or addiction in general, it's like they see their parents do it. So they're like, okay, I'm going to do it. But then also, like, our liver carries so much anger. Like, that's our anger house center, right? That's where it's all stored. So they're just perpetuating the problem. Like, you've already got your anger there, and then you're dampening your liver's powers by even adding more to it and just reliving the same story. So I think that's really like, it's a really beautiful way to help someone become neutral towards it, because I think people have emotions and they think it's like, if they love them for how they are, or if they just accept it, like then they don't have anything to be mad about. Right? Like it's just letting it go. And it's one of those things where some people just, they want to be upset about something, or they want to harbor that feeling of like, well, why did they do this to me? And it's like, why are you putting yourself in such a disempowered place by allowing them to control your life? Because like you said, when like even if it's hate or anger, you still are creating a cord. Like that cord is still going to be there because you're projecting it onto them. When in all honesty, like I've seen people whose parents like truly just are indifferent because they're so miserable that it's like, why are you wasting your time feeling this way towards them when they're fine? You know, like they're okay with the decision because that's just where they're at. Um, so I love that. And you said something I wrote down. It was the acceptance over forgiveness. And I, you know, even with my mom and I are very close and I love her dearly. She's one of my closest friends, but it's one of those things where it's like I have to accept her for who she is. I have to accept her for the decision she made. Like as parents, no one's perfect. You know, we were talking about this before we started recording, and it's like you learn as you go sometimes. You don't always have that like great example of how your parents were with you, and so you're just learning, but every child's different too. So I've always like kept an open communication with my son, like, what do you need right now? Like I love you and I'm gonna do what's best for you, but like what do you feel like you need to move through this? Or how can I support you? Because I think them being able to say it, especially as they get older and they can communicate, it can help them so much because I want to have a good relationship with my son when he gets older. And obviously I have my own quirks, so he's gonna like there's gonna be things about me he's gonna have to accept and just be like, yeah, that's my mom. That's fine, you know? And it's not I think people think that if they just accept it, it's like making it okay for them to be the way they were, but like we're not here to change our parents. We're not here to change our grandparents. We're just here to like even accept it and just love them for who they are because love over everything is the highest vibration. So if someone's wanting to accelerate their life or be on their highest timeline, if you approach things from a place of love always, it's going to help elevate your life more than anything.
And it's sometimes love is not possible. I mean, yeah, how I mean it is like again going back that I don't want to love my parents. Yes,
Hmm.
but you are hating them. So that doesn't help either. And as you mentioned, so many of us is just love our pain. This is what we know because that's what we grew up with. And and you would be surprised how your nervous system is actually trying to handle just normal. And because that's not you were calibrated with, I realized that how my nervous system growing up was like in a heightened state all the time, and that became my norm. And and then something was like calm or it was okay. I was like, okay, something will gonna happen. The house will burn down, or my partner will gonna leave me, or something. Because it's like I needed that impulse that something we're gonna I because my nervous system was actually panicking about being in normal. So it's just like, as you mentioned, we love our pain because that's like fuels us. That anger can fuels us, but on the long term is actually wearing out your nervous system, your sleep, and it doesn't take you on a higher level. So we all, not all, we all, but many of us, I wanted my parents to say sorry for what they did.
Hmm.
And I realized that my mom did. And we had amazing conversations with my mom, but my dad not. And my energy healing teacher told me that maybe in this life, this is what's his max. And okay, but I was like angry that, okay, his max, his 10 out of 10 is a 3 for me out of 10. It's like, how is it he's not capable to change or want to change? And he's like, my teacher was like, that's his max. Maybe that's his life, and you have to accept it or make a peace with it that that's his max. And Eckhart Tolle was speaking in The Power of Now. There was one sentence that was standing out, that they did the best. And
Hmm.
maybe what you think that that's their best is like, it's nothing.
It's
It's not
trash.
even, it's trash. But on their level, that was their max. And maybe in this life, they are done because they are not capable of doing more. And sometimes I'm like, why he cannot, or just don't want to change, or it's like you want to shake them up. But here comes family constellation again into the picture. Like when we want, so there is an order, and your parents came in front of you before
Mm-hmm.
you. So their order is like they have to stand behind you. But when you want to change, and it's like, no, I will change them. I will do this. I am the big and they are the small. That's again causing troubles in your life because you want to take over something that is actually not yours. So in family constellation, and so many times actually I'm rearranging the order that no, you are the small, you are the young, and they are the big. It's a different like a different phrase. That's what we use in family constellation. They are the big, and you are the small. And some people is like, I don't want to. I feel the resistance. It's like, okay, let's say that. And that's when we are toning down the phrases what we use, even we use that maybe I need some time. But respecting their choices, respecting, we are not gods. We are not here to judge anybody. We think we know better. It's like I know better than my dad. It's not true. It's actually not true. And when you can step back and say and bow in front of them that I respect your choices. I respect your life. It doesn't mean that I don't care because I care. It still hurts. It still hurts when I see you self-destructive way, or as you mentioned, his liver, but it's your choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here in neutral. I will not bend backwards to change my life for you because I did it for 35 years, but I'm tired of it. It was a huge sacrifice. I took it on myself consciously and subconsciously, but it's enough. And as of today, I release that responsibility.
Mm. And that's so powerful. It's so powerful to be able to let that go. And it's funny because it's like when we have these things done to us from our parents, right? Even if it was their best. And there's this like controlling piece because some people get
Mm-hmm.
into that control, like, let me control it. That way I know I can handle it and I can deal with it because they
Yes.
obviously can't. And it's keeping them safe, like they think, right? But in reality, it's just clogging you up energetically and it's putting a big stopper
Yeah.
in the middle of your body and saying, nope. Now I'm just going to let everything be stagnant because I took this on and it's not my responsibility. And it's so interesting to see that because it's wild how we do that as smalls as adults, right? Like we take that and we're like, okay, I'm big enough now. Like I can fight the monster, but in reality, like we just don't need to.
And it's
It's
not your
not
monster.
ours.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are releasing those monsters and you actually like, you know what, this is my life, you are not responsible for your child's life.
Mm-mm.
And that's what a big trap, what I see with parents, that they feel like, obviously, you are responsible to feeding that baby because baby is not capable. And until they can earn money, they are responsibility in a way, but it's not your responsibility to make your child successful. It's not your responsibility to make your life, make your child's life happy. We are like spinning around doing all these things, and it's like it's not.
Mm-mm.
What success means or happiness means to you might not mean anything to them. So it's like put down your own stuff, own baggage, and that's when, without filters, there are still filters, but without many filters and veils, you can actually see the person in front of you, your child, as they are.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have their own baggage and own karma and own personality. And when you are just so burdened by all the stuff that you are carrying for everybody else, as my friend says, who is a healer, told you have a fridge on your back. How
Yeah.
do you want to fly? How do you want your kids to fly when you are passing a fridge on to them?
Mm-hmm. That's a great way to put it. And it's interesting because, like we were talking about parenting before we got on. like with my son now, like he's 15, he's a teenager, and he's gotten in trouble over the summer, like over video games and stuff, and just not being honest. And I always tell him, I'm like, it's your choice. Like, it's your choice to choose differently. Like, this isn't your life. Like, you don't have to be in trouble all the time. This isn't how it has to be because that's where you're at right now. And I know sometimes when we go through hard things, like, it feels all consuming and it feels like there's no way out. And I just
Mhm.
told him, I was like, make one choice at a time. Say, is this going to help me? Is this supportive for me? Or is this something that I know like I'll get in trouble for, right? Is this teaching me something? And even clients, I'm like, what are you choosing? And I think people forget, like, even with the committing to their anger or their pain, right? Like, or diagnoses, it's one of those things where it's like, you are committing to this. What are you committing to? Like, are you committing to being abundant and having a magical life? Or are you committing to the hard? Like, are you committing to everything being easy and you can move through it? And it doesn't mean that there's not going to be hard moments or there's not going to be things that are perceived as hard, because when we talk about easy and hard on an energetic level, like, even with our spirit guides, like they don't see easy or hard anymore because they're just a soul. It's all neutral. It's all neutral. And so I always make sure to tell him, like, no, this is your choice. Like, these are the choices that you make. You know that each choice will have different outcomes. And so it's like, where are you committing?
And why you are committing. And that's when
Hmm.
your triggers and your past comes into the picture, because sometimes our choices is actually not even our choices, or it's blinded by our past or our baggages. Or this is actually my mom was like had cancer and now I want to be a doctor. Is it really your calling, or is it just you are trying to heal that mother wound that happened because your mom passed away? So that's a very strong example, but it's like, who is you?
Hmm.
Why you are making those decisions? Why you feel that you have to yell at your child? Is it actually your child, or something that was actually coming from your childhood, and you couldn't handle that time, so now you are like out when your kids are doing it? So it's just why, and the self-awareness is a huge piece.
Absolutely. And I know, like, there's a lot more people that are willing to be self-aware, but there's also a lot of people that are willing to be self-aware, said in air quotes. But they still hide. They still hide. They don't want to look at their shadow. They don't want to look at why they're really doing something or making a certain decision because that's off the table. Like, they don't want to look at that. They're like, nope, that's not something I'm willing to go into. And so it's
If you
interesting
don't want
because,
to look into the mirror, you cannot look at the awareness piece. It's like you
hmm
have to face that mirror, and you are smiling back or crying in the mirror because it's you.
yep. And it's so important, and especially in healing, because if you don't want to look at yourself, then that's where we get into things like false prophets or false spiritual beings, that are here and they're like, oh, everything's all light and love. And it's like, honestly, the healing journey is just not like that. It
No,
is
there
sometimes.
is light and love a lot, but there is like pain and crying. And that's why people are like, no, you know what? I just take the pill. I just go for a surgery and I just try to cut it out.
Yep. I'll take the easy button. So what do you use to run the family constellations? Like, is it birthday, birth time, or do you need
No.
anything?
No, it's actually we are working with the constellation field or the family field, and I use colored papers. And interestingly, when we are committing to a session, the family conscientious or the family field opens up for both for me and for my clients.
Hmm.
And they see things, feel things, um, hear things based on the cards I'm showing to them, and I see things, and we start to like guide them. Okay, was it a family event, or was it a historical event, or where did it happen, or was it on the mother's side or the dad's side, and how many generations back? And we are finding the the triggering moment, the triggering event based on the family consciousness we open and use.
I love that. I think that's such an easy way to be able to access it. And it just makes it accessible for everyone because you don't need anything. I've got a friend of mine who doesn't know her exact birth time. So sometimes she's like, I want to look up my human design chart. Like, I want to look at my astrology, but like, I don't know what time I was born. So she's always getting very surface level responses. And, I love numerology because it's just your birthday and that's easy to move through. And it's so interesting because everything we've talked about, like, this keeps coming up for me where in numerology, I'm a 22-4. So I'm a master number and I'm always like, why? Like not necessarily like why in a bad way, but it's just sometimes I don't see myself as that like builder, as that person that's here to do the hard. Like I know that my life has been challenging and I know I've gone through so much and being able to transmute it and I can handle so much more than a lot of people. It goes back to that scale, right? Like I know my scale to most people when it comes to emotions and moving through things. I'm like where someone's a 10, that's probably like a 2 for me. And I'm like, I can do it. I can take on the things, like I can move through it really quickly. And so it's always interesting to see. And there was a period in my healing journey where I was just like, why did it have to be me? Like there's all these other people behind me that could have like taken some responsibility, but it goes back to our soul contracts. It comes back to what we agreed to when we came onto this earth. Like I'll make a joke with my friends sometimes. I'm like, I don't remember signing anything. Like I don't remember agreeing to this, but I know in my soul that I do remember. And it's owning that and just saying like, I can move through this. Because ultimately, like you said, with our kids, like they're going to have their own karma, they're going to have their own path because of their own past lives. And like maybe it's a brand new soul. Maybe they're here to truly learn as much as they can in this lifetime. And they just don't know anything, they haven't been here before. So they don't know what to expect, where there's so many of us that are walking around with this knowledge that we carry in our body and also traumatic events. And we just understand, like we understand the assignment and we just kind of move through it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's about time, but I would love it if you could share with everyone where they can find you, and how they can book a session with you.
Sure. The best way is to find through my webpage. awareness.net is my webpage, or you can email me at blanka@awareness.net. Blanka is with a K, not with a C. And I'm happy to answer any questions. And on my webpage, you can find the blog. There are some answers about family constellation. So use the resources there.
Awesome. I love that. And that'll all be in the show notes as well. That way people can just go down there and click it if they want. But I've loved having you. I've loved talking about this.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I will definitely be doing this for myself, at some point because I like part of it for me too, as I talk to people and different practitioners with what they do. Like I love to experience it for myself and just see like what comes up, like what's moving through right now. But I'm so grateful that you were here today, and I can't wait for more people to find you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for listening to Expand the Conversation podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review of the podcast on your favorite platform. Your feedback means the world to me. If you have any questions, comments, or topic suggestions for future episodes, reach out to me on social media. I would love to hear from you. To let me know you are listening and stay updated on all things Expand the Conversation, be sure to follow and tag me on Instagram at expandtheconversation.podcast. If you know someone who would benefit from this episode, please share it. See you next time.